Family, how y'all doing today on this Metaphysical Monday? I'm gonna wait and let some people come in for a second. I'm waiting on my guest interviewer. I'm gonna go ahead and play this track. I need to grab. I ain't played in a while. But anyway, so tonight, you guys, welcome into the live for those who is tapped in and those who will be tapped in. I'm waiting on brother Jonathan. That's what his thing say, but it's his name isn't Jonathan, okay? But I'm waiting on Knowledge Born Allah from Do Knowledge Radio to come in and join me. And until then, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. This track is called How Deep. You know, I'm not. It's just an instrumental. There's no music to it. I'm gonna go ahead and do my chime shortly. What's good? What's good? Let me know when you're ready to come up, brother. Oh, you already sent the request. Okay, cool. Peace, guard. Peace. Okay, let me see if I can. I see my hair is cut off. Hold on. This may not abide well, because I don't want to be bent over the whole time. Is it working for you guys? Brother?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can't see myself, but it's all good.
I can't see you either. It says joining.
Okay.
I guess Mercury retrograde still retrograde, huh?
Hey, you had the bopping. I was about to bop with the bop.
Yeah, I'm bopping. I just wanted to make sure I could hear you. Yeah, this is like these lyrics is like crazy deep, you know, like the hook and everything. It's very simple, you know. Want to see if it'll let you do it again, like come out and then try it again?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay. And I'm going to have to make some adjustments as well because my camera's too low. It works when I'm going to have to go to my other space, you guys. I'm going to have to go to the original space because when brother get on here, it's cutting my head off, and that's not going to work. So I'm going to have to just go to my regular space. It may work better. Y'all give me one moment, please. We're trying to see if we can get brother Knowledge onto the screen beyond the voice, and we can go ahead and get started with tonight's bill. Thank you, everybody, for tapping in. What's up, brother Mayfield, brother James, Philly in the house? Yeah, I'm about to just reset up right here because I think that other setup is not going to work for me. So that was cool coming in, but give me a second. Look like I'm going to be in the hot seat tonight. Okay, let's try it again. See what it do. Facebook must be with the problems. So it still says joining. There you go. That's good. Okay, give me 1 second. I gotta kind of reset up right quick because I'm gonna get to my regular setup. Get my little cushions together. Anyway, so I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, and or should I do an intro? Because I know we kind of like have to get everything right. It's Mercury retrograde. Is my head cut off? I don't want my head to be cut off. If it is, we need to push that camera back.
Yeah, push it back a little bit. All right, you good.
I'm good?
Unless you want to push it back a little bit more so they can see the stunner do. Okay.
There we go.
There we go. Yes.
Okay. I probably want people to read the comments from that far back because I don't have my glasses, but it's good.
Look. We're here with the scientists, okay? We're here with the scientists and the alchemist. She's a mother to us all. She is a humble spirit, a guiding spirit, here to be a guiding light for those who can actually see the light. Okay, so this is a unique opportunity. I know y'all used to the Metaphysical Monday format where it's okay. Kola Soljet is here to interview us, to get into our science, to give us a platform and a space to share our message. But we want to know about her. So this is all about her. So she gets to be the interviewee on her own broadcast. So I'm glad that she gave me the opportunity to come here to, kind of get into some things in regards to her, in regards to her journey, and what it means to be Kola Soljet. So I think that's the perfect place to start. So it becomes my honor and privilege at this time to introduce some, present the master of Metaphysical Mondays, the mastermind's mastermind. Okay, I ain't wanted to think I wasn't about to go there and do that. Okay, the mastermind's mastermind. Our mother God, the priestess of the Soldier healing community, one who's been on the forefront and the front lines for some decades now, helping us to change the narrative and to change the conditions of ourselves from the inside out. The great one. Okay, the great one. It's in the
Okay, I don't
okay, the
deserve
great
all of
one is
that,
in the
but
building. Yes, 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 yes. Kola.
okay.
So jets.
So let's just, I'm gonna go ahead and if ask me what you want to ask me, but I wanted to speak to the audience. It's
Well,
Sister
no.
Kola Soljet. Thank you guys for tapping in and everybody that will be tapping in. And yeah, this is I'm honored to have Knowledge Born Allah here to interview me tonight. And you guys can feel free to ask questions. He's probably gonna have to read the questions because I can't see, my third eye's activated.
Yes, yes.
So he's gonna ask if you have any questions. If not, then that's okay. That's cool too. But I do encourage you guys, and maybe you'll be inspired to ask questions as you see the bill go on. But I'm gonna turn it over to Brother Knowledge. He is our host of tonight. So
Hey, I'm honored. Okay. So let's get into Let's get into what it means to be a Sojet. What does Kola Soljet mean? What is a Sojet mentality? What does it mean to be a Soljetter? You
mm,
understand what I'm saying? Let's start with that origin story with the name and how
okay,
far it goes back and everything.
for sure, for sure. So anyway, let me get my cough drop out of my mouth right quick and put it on this paper here because I don't want to choke while we're talking. But anyway, yeah, I'm trying to get my throat together, you guys. I'm on tea, I'm on water. But so Kola is a name that it's like I don't want to go too deep into Kola, but it's a name that I came up with many years ago. And I didn't even know that it had significance. I like the name. Honestly, it's a weird reason I came up with the name. I like the way the word koala was spelled. And I just liked the way it looked. So I was like, I can't call myself koala. So, and that went all the way back to elementary. I just liked the word, I just liked the way it looked, like visually. And so it ended up becoming Kola later. And then I found out that it was a Nigerian word or Yoruba word that meant, one who gathers the riches and bring it back to the community. So, I was like, okay. So I was on code with that. And then Soljak, is that Sister Veronica? Yeah. Shout out to Sister Veronica for sure. And Soljet is the Spanish word for sun, which is soul. And then the jet is the petrified fossil in Africa, like what we call jet black, or so it's basically like Kola black sun or the hidden sun.
Okay.
And as far as like soul jet, it means to elevate. Soul elevation, soul activation. So anybody that's kind of like, that I gather, that I teach, or that resonate with me, or they go through my priestess program that I haven't even offered. It's not something I'm offering at the time, but that's all coming into play. They will then take on that moniker at the end of their name, Soljek, which is just a form of consciousness, and so jetting so jetters is what I call, the audience, or call the people that literally really support. We soul jetters. And so jetting is when I'm just doing my thing in my zone. It's a style of dance that I do, my my Soljet style, or just whatever I'm doing, just in the vibe. We Soljecting. Me and my friends, me and the people I build with, elevating. So that's like the action of it. We doing that. But that's pretty much what it is in the the short. It's also my ism.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when they be like, "What are you? Are you a this?" I'm a Solject. Just simple. A
That's it.
planetary. Anyway, we'll get to that. But
Okay. So, for the people who don't know, I understand that there's variations in between people in your audience and people in life. So, for the newcomers and the people who will come, how long have you dealt in the realm of spirituality in regards to tarot and any of the aspects of your spiritual teaching, healing, from whatever modality you want to speak from?
yeah, you know, I've always been like a God person, so just the spirituality part has always been with me. But as far as religion, but as far as delving outside of that, since I was like, it's kind of like it's always been with me. Because the first time I picked up a deck of tarot cards, I was what, 14, 12, 14, something. Whenever that Mystic Dream story took place that I talked about on your show, of how I ended up in this space. But I still was a Christian then, so I still was just grabbing things from all over. I've been into spirituality up in, well, a tarot reader since I was 19. Like, as far as and I'm 44 now. That's a long time, over 20 years, 20 plus years. I got my start at the Mystic Dream as a professional reader, but my training was just doing it for my friends and family for free, just for fun and just trying to learn the science. And really, one of my mother friends, she saw me with the cards and I didn't know how to read them. And she was like all excited, like, "Oh my God, you got tarot cards." And I'm like, "Oh, you know how to read them?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Okay, well, and I'm writing stuff down. And, so shout out to Wilma, wherever she is out there in Sacramento, shout out. But yeah, she was reading them for me until one day I couldn't handle the message and I got all angry and and she said, "I ain't reading for you no more." And she didn't, so I really was then challenged to learn for myself. And then the other things just came into play because we always went to Mystic Dream. Like, before I got my professional start there, I lost that store, which was called Dolphin Dream at the time, and that was like in the 90s. And so once my mom them, took me away from, they didn't want me at the store or at, dealing with the stuff. So I never forgot it though. Like, from the time I was like 14 all the way up to like I was in my, maybe like 23. And then one day I just asked one of my friends to say, "Hey, run me by that store so I can see what's up." And that was a whole new world because the store was still there, everything was still bubbling. So then I brought the sisters in because this was in an affluent city, where it's mostly like rich people and white people and stuff like that. But it was a beautiful store, and we lived across the hill, but I brought the hill over there. You know what I mean? And we began to do goddess parties. We were already smart because we were already part of the conscious community. So we were sharing information. Me and Marion, shout out to Marion and Sister Sandra, Sister Chazetta. We had a group called Motu already that me and Marion founded, which is the Mothers of the Universe. So we were already like on our stuff, reading, Open to Shaka, all of the stuff, Stolen Legacy, just on all of the stuff, Message to a Black Man. She had a Muslim background, I had a Christian background, but we were both into heavy metaphysics and also the other crafts of the occult. We were really, deep and had a deep understanding of it. So, that's kind of how I got my start in that, because she didn't want to go she wanted to be more on the like a solitary practitioner, and I was just more like taking classes, just learning all of these different things. And yeah, so that's how it happened. It just was my path, and I just went all in. I left a real estate and banking background to be a tarot reader and spiritualist. So yeah. Anyway, you want to look at
Hey, I love that. Walk by faith, not by sight, is something different. I think with the soldier mentality that you described, I think that path, you know, that you left wasn't for you all the way. It was for you to get a little insight to on how those things work over there. But you had a higher work. You had a higher calling. You know,
yeah.
You don't strike me as somebody who wants to play it safe. You strike me as somebody that wants to be safe but don't have to play it safe. You see what I'm saying? That Soljet is elevation. Elevation is leaving the confines of safety and security into a space of elevation where,
Right.
there's no safety net. So I think that was beautiful because you described the Soljet mentality. So now entrepreneurially, you've been at this now for over 20 years. You see what I'm saying? So what are some of the things that, many people miss because evidently you've been able to sustain yourself for more than 2 decades. You see what I'm saying? Not punching nobody's clock or anything like that. So how did you kind of build with the ebbs and the flows that come along with striking out on your own and doing things on your own? Just,
Yeah.
give
Well,
folks the
I
real talk.
yeah, I have to punch in the clock. It's a transition.
Mm.
When you want to do something and you're still locked into the system, then it needs to be a gradual transition unless you just hella ambitious. You know what I mean? But and I guess the safety net is radical trust. That's the safety net for spirituality is knowing that you are just so connected to the everything that's happening in the cosmic scheme of things, and um, it could be a little scary for some, for all people. But it's a process. As far as me leaving, punching the clock, it was a like back and forth thing. So the first time I was at Misty Dream, I had a good run there, and really what happened was, did I lose my job? I think I lost my job. I got fired from. They fired me from my real estate, from my property management job because of two things. One thing I don't want to disclose, but they was out of line, and they made the excuse because I was on MySpace. I showed somebody my MySpace, and people on there all day, so that's why they found me. Okay, whatever. So hold on, let me see. Yeah. So but I already knew how to read cards and all of that. So even though I was like working in real estate, I was still a practitioner. I was still like doing readings and all kind of stuff for other real estate people, and I was doing my thing already. So I was in the lobby at Beverly Hills Hotel. It was the Ritz Carlton doing readings. I was getting it in on that, that's just how it went. But so after all of that happened, I ended up working at a call center because I was just done with corporate America. I was just so devastated when I lost this job, like devastated. Like every time I passed by the building, I just be like sad and triggered and cussing and talking about, look at they balloons. They ain't been right since I've been here. I was mad, just. But like, I got this job at a call center and stuff, and I don't know. I just felt good about Mystic Dream. So I just asked, I had already worked there as a clerk. I already worked there. So I knew how to do certain things. I understood how they did their inventory. I understood how they ran certain facets of their business, because we have to do all of that stuff and set up their displays, all of this stuff. I'm gonna make a long story short. This is like we're gonna move into something else. But basically, hold on. I just basically went over there and I applied for the job. And I had to read for the owners, and they hired me. Even though they had people throwing shade on me, they had other witches that worked in that place. And they were, one of the witches were like basically Kola has issues. Like she always got stuff going on. And the guy was like, what tarot reader don't have stuff going on? I feel good about it. So, you can't stop one's destiny. And it would just all go from that point. But it was other stuff too, with that black and white. But go ahead with that black and white. It's a whole journey. But I wouldn't recommend anybody just necessarily jumping into some stuff like that, because it was just a blessing the way it happened for me, So yeah.
So in that environment, though, what were some of the things that you could take away from that experience that, still helps you to this day? If you look at it, whether, right or wrong is interpretive and subjective, but what are things that you could identify from that experience, because that had to have been a groundbreaking experience for you to hone your craft from a business perspective. So, what are some of the takeaways that you could say from that experience?
You saying like to make it where it's a stable thing for me, or is that what you're speaking to, or just the things that I learned from? I'm sorry.
No, you good. You good. You good. I'm just saying. I know Mystic Dreams is something that you reference a few times. You see what I'm saying? So that experience, being there, transitioning from the corporate space, and all of these things.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So going from a novelty, overall a novelty, something that you did because it was curiosity, to a profession, to a craft, to a
Oh, I hear
lifestyle.
you.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah, they're
yeah,
all transitions. And then, going from working in a space, doing these things, to striking out on your own.
yeah.
So,
I think it was the environment,
mm,
because one of the ladies that come to my mind was a lady named Valerie Donner, and she was like one of those real, she was really good at what she did. She wasn't a reader; she did like some other type of work, but I learned professionalism from the people around me because they were all entrepreneurs and they were all honing their gifts. And I have to give it up for a lady named Helena. Helena is a Polish lady, and she's a real proud Polish lady. But she's an Aquarius, and her body was a canvas because she just had all these beautiful tattoos all over every part of her body. But she really believed in me. Like somebody else I know, she was committed to seeing me win. So she really pulled out all the stops to get me set up business wise because she was very good in business. So she made all my labels, my cards, my this, my that, and she didn't charge me. Okay, that's the whole kicker right there. I would do other stuff for her, so it was just like set up for me to do that. The other person was Babatunde from Nigeria. He's my teacher, and his uncle is my priest. He the one that gave me Ashe. Okay, and all of that working together, just those people being my rock and stuff, and just me being, like it caught on fast because I was a good reader from all of those years of just practicing and things like that, and people, I was the it thing for a little minute there, but like I said, it had its things, had its ups and downs. I don't think I could handle all of it, and I ended up leaving, but I didn't just leave at the height of things. Things went through a decline, but it was just a lot to handle. It's a lot to handle in a sense where I was popular. I would probably do like 11 readings a day and then go home after work and just be at people's houses, like they calling me for cocktail parties and different things. So I'm just really, I'm making a lot of money. But it was like living in two different worlds too, because I'm in a world of a lot of high end stuff that's taking place, but I'm still in the hood. I still got to drive back to Pittsburgh and break bread with my friends. That wasn't hard for me because I'm Mercury. I'm so diverse, but it was just more like I'd be laughing like my friends have no idea. I'm like like just in this one world, and it's like having because I don't necessarily be all talking about everything that I'm doing with my friends. So it just it was a transition. But they were so intrigued by it and couldn't believe it, And at first, I was letting people use me as a novelty, and it got very draining. Like everybody want me to come over. My friends are using me just to do readings. They're not paying me, just none of that, just over. And then, I think when you move into professional space, you got to begin to respect your craft in that way. It's not, because now it's just, it's an energy exchange. And yeah, I think that's what it is, though. It's knowing what you want to do and it's so vast. People think like, oh, tarot reader. It's so many things you can do. I knew a brother from DC. He called himself Indominus, but the whole word is on his business cards. I was a little embarrassed because we're in this affluent place with all these white folks, and he's passing out business cards with that word on there. And I'm like, I can't believe this. But this brother was astronomical on his numerology. This brother was so cold. You know what I mean? So he was a financial advisor. He dressed like, I don't know what he dressed like. He had on crocodile shoes. He had on like, the cane with all the stuff carved in it. I mean, he had his, he had it going, but he had came with all that little slick talk and stuff, but he got clientele because He's hella good at crunching numbers and predicting things, kind of like Valentine on, you know, how we were just talking about on Trading Places. So I was learning from everybody. Everybody got something to give. We have goddess parties and stuff. We have fairs. So in those fairs, it's just a lot. You learning from everybody. We work in the fairs. We're a part of it. And shout out to Chaz, because sometimes we do watch these videos, and that's the man that gave me an opportunity at Misty Dream. He's a Taurus, and we just had that earth connection right off, like some Will and Grace stuff, for real. So he basically gave us, he let me grow. He allowed me to do the things I needed to do. If I say I want to do a class, he let me teach the class. If I say I want to bring in all my African connection, the Black folks welcome in. Whatever I wanted to do. I had a group called Sacred Womb Warriors. Couldn't say that womb word anymore because of all of the changes and with genders and all that. But that was very successful. It was really successful, and he allowed me to, everything we want to do, they promote us. They run it in their papers. They just, they make sure they set us up for success. They put us on their website, there's all of that stuff. So that was a unique situation because it's hard to get in there, so yeah. Not to go on and on about Mr. Dream, but yeah, that was something.
I mean, these are groundbreaking moments. You never know how these things affect you. Like, think about going from a hobby to a professional, and every place that you went, no matter where you went, there was, a space for you to grow. You see what I'm saying? And you're still growing. So I want to ask about tarot, because tarot has become something I can't even imagine, how much has changed since you first started to now, and then people getting into it, and then, a couple of TikTok videos here, or Instagram videos here, or YouTube videos here or there, and then everybody doing, readings. You understand what I'm saying? So I wanna get your thoughts in regards to the commercialization of tarot, and also the transitions, but also more of the misconceptions that have been associated with tarot. Like, so, what's some of the misconceptions that you've seen, and then what are your thoughts on some of these people? Not necessarily the people, but how tarot is going. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, with the wave, I can't really be mad at them because everybody looking for a way to come up, and everybody looking, and people want to feel, I'm not going to say they just using it as a way to come up, but I'm going to say this, how do we feel about all of these people in the conscious community that's coming in from nowhere? They were just people that wasn't messing with us in all of these years, and all of a sudden they rising in numbers and everything, and they just became conscious yesterday. And they got people out there really been doing this for years. Like, how do we feel about that? Same thing. People always looking for a wave to get on. So all I say is be real. And if you're going to take people money, or if you're going to, let people confide in you and stuff, have a level of professionalism and integrity. Learn the craft, understand the origins and what's going on with it, because I knew all of that and know all of that from the time I started. Yeah, and honestly, I want to say this piece because that kind of got lost in things, because I never really told this story like this. This is something different. That's why I wanted to set this up in this way. So people, audiences, bear with me. The people that's watching, thank you. Shout out to Ken Wardo. Shout out to Sister Veronica. I can't see everybody else because my eyes, but I just want to say that the way I came into getting in contact with the spirituality part of things is because I would set the atmosphere to do tarot, right? And I'm not gonna lie to you, it could be a bit unsettling if you're not a believer, if you don't think the spirits are real, or spirit is real, or God is real, you're just looking at it as some kind of philosophical concept that this consciousness isn't real, then you got another thing coming. Because the first thing is to start slow. I just spoke on this about the people, when I spoke to spiritual bypassing, and people jumping into things. They get in it for many reasons. I don't want to just go to the money aspect, but when they see that money can be made, then there's people that will gravitate to it. Another reason they gravitate to it is because of power. They feel like it would gain them some type of power over others, and this power that nobody else has, and all of this stuff. But that's not really it either. Some of them do it because they're curious. They leave in a church and they not getting what they need from their religious uh, practices. So then they'll just run off and try these things and they don't stay with it long. Next thing you know, they're talking about tarot led them on the wrong path and they seen Satan and Jesus came. So all of that. So, those are the ones I think piss me off the most because they need to just quietly leave their path and go back to the church. And don't make it bad for everybody else with all your wild ass tales of fear and stuff. I don't like people perpetuating fear to our people because that's what's got us caught up now with all of these religions and shit. It's the fear to fly, or it's the fear to Soljet, But I'll pass it back to you. I hope I answered your questions.
Definitely. Angela said, how do you know who's real and who's not? I think that's important. I think that's an important question.
Well, it is important. If you're talking about like dealing with a reader who's real or just people, because that would be to tap into our discernment, which is the third eye energy. And see, that's a whole nother thing. I keep trying to get into that spiritual bypassing and mediumship. I think I did a video on it, and I did 2 videos. One of them got quite a bit of views, but it's on another person's platform. Is locking into that consciousness. And that's how you begin to know. That's what I'm talking about, always being. Sin in Islam means to not be conscious, right? Because we are vessels for the spirit. So when we are locked in, like I can see the space around you. I can see your light. I can see that aura around you, just like I'm sure you could see it and feel it in me. But there's people that, partake, or they, they not partake, but they pretend to be something they're not. But eventually, not even eventually, the frequency will tell it. You can always look in the eyes. You can always look at the body language, and you can always feel it. That's why we have to be in tune and make sure our vessels are open, make sure we are clean, and we're dealing with. And I mean, we can all have our off days, but for the most part, you want to make this an everyday part of your life to live in consciousness. That's what conscious living is. So even with men we choose to date or friends we choose to have, there's a certain level of awareness that we need to already have. Even when we talk about trusting each other. Trusting each other. How can we get to a level of trust as we begin to shift the frequency, as we begin to understand that consciousness, that conscious state will allow us to see who we can't trust. Because that face will almost transform. If you know what I'm talking about, if you ever look through the third eye, the face will transform in front of you. It's almost like you can see that beast in the person. It's like they become something different. So it takes a level of, that's also trust though, radical trust, because a lot of us have these gifts, but we're afraid of it, afraid to trust that, and yeah, I don't know, but yeah, that's what it is. We got to get
So
to
with
that.
that spirit of discernment, does this make this journey easier or harder? What would you say? With having that
Having
spirit, yeah, that spirit of discernment that you just spoke about, you tapping into it, you honing it, and now it might be, some of your loved ones, whomever, whatever. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it's if you're able to deal with reality. A lot of us have the gift, but we're afraid to deal with certain realities. So there's people that I've dated that I knew was bad from the beginning, but you don't even want to look at the third eye. You don't even want to pay attention to that because you want what you want in that carnal sense. So it's a lot of times we'll be backpedaling and not living in our greatest, at our greatest level, and really cutting ourselves short because we settle. A lot of us are afraid to go through the veil. We do it in church, we do it in Islam, we do it in all religions. We're always trying to get people to come with us, to validate your shit. Instead of just being your greatest self and go be that, we got to tell everybody about what we found and, oh yeah, y'all living wrong and God gonna get you. Well, girl, go do that. But we do it to try to keep everybody else in line because you can't do that shit. This is an individual journey. And then we get together collectively. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's about that individual journey and what you're getting out of it. It's for, the relationship that you have with the creator. So, yeah. And so that's is it hard? It is hard. It's very hard. It's hard because of the illusions. And the more aware you are, the more you are, because see, when you up in the illusion and you just choose the illusion, you just stay in that, illusion state, just going in circles and stuff. But the more awareness that you come into is more painful, because your attachments make it painful. Your ego makes it painful. Just not knowing where to go once you cut yourself from certain tribes, because this is what we thought would be forever type stuff, certain ways of thinking, so it makes it easier. You have some spirituality, but if you like a person that just lack all of that and you just hella materialistic and stuff, it's probably an even harder transition, but yeah. You can look at some of the questions if you want to, but if not, you can keep going.
We rolling. We were talking about Eve's Bayou, and it just flashed in front of my face while you were speaking. Remember, we were talking about it, here, on your platform. We were talking about Eve's Bayou. We were talking about the different stages of development, the young gifted one versus the one in the middle versus, the ascendant. All of them had a space where which they had their own taboos that came along with it. So we're looking at harder versus easier, taboo versus norm now. And then looking at your journey, you share some things that connect with all three of them. So this process of understanding that this journey for you, my question is, how do you continue to keep going and Soljetting? How do you keep Soljetting in the midst of all of the other things that come along with it, the misunderstandings, the misconceptions, the taboos, and that's just from the people who don't know. And then these other parts and aspects of people who know or present themselves to know and seek to dim your light or, try to block your blessings, these types of things. Like, what's the catalyst that keeps you going? What's the space of motivation or on the real in regards to that?
Um, I had a whole long thing to say, but one of the things I can just say flat out is spiritual confidence from radical trust and spiritual application. That's what keeps me going. There's times I want to quit, but it's no doubt in my mind, and it is nothing that nobody can come with. It's nothing. There's no God that they can tell me about, or something that is going to unshake me from what I know. It's kind of like speaking in tongues or something, and you know what your experience is. And so I know that experience so well that it's like I trust the journey. If God stripped me from everything right now, the universe took it from me, I would still serve. I'm going to still walk that path because there is no other path. So I've seen results, you know what I'm saying, from soul activation, and it works for me. There's no other thing that I've ever done in this life that has been successful for me like this path. And the only two things I've ever stayed consistent with, ever, this being a consistent person with all that Mercury in my chart, is tarot readings and hip hop, writing, whether songwriting, poems, and I said tarot, but I mean spirituality. Period. That's been a constant. That's something that never changes. Even if I'm in a bad toxic relationship, even if I'm in a house and everybody was doing drugs, which I'm talking about partying drugs, getting high and drunk and stuff like that. I'm still gonna be me. I'm gonna be me. You heard one of the people, Larry, talking about when I was going through my, when he said the jihad, I was be preaching while I'm drunk, mad, going, so through my 20s was very rough. You know what I'm saying? So you just, it was a lot, because you go through ups and downs, and because the world in the whole isn't on your journey, they always think you're too intense. Even if they Christians are whatever, or Christianity, they still think like they don't go that deep with it. So it's almost like they're always pulling you. So you have to be very confident in yourself. You have to be very strong, because, it's like you the person with the purple socks and everybody else is wearing white socks. So it's very, You got to hear all of that. Nobody, because I'm such a loving person, honestly, nobody has ever really outwardly just been rude to me. They'll just say like tarot cards, ooh, I don't want to know. They'll do things like that. The most hatred I probably have gotten is from, I hate to say it, family. But I also got a lot of love from my family too. So, it's the most love I got, it's probably from family. So yeah. It's not easy. Give me some of the comments. I just want to be able, I can't see anything, so I just want to be able to keep up with the audience too.
So they were talking about, as I said, I have dreams that come true and are factual, but my anxiety makes it scary.
Right.
Then she said things happen and I'm like, I've seen it before, and then tapping into spirituality or becoming awake is a self thing, or can someone help you with it?
I mean, you could be guided, like in my sacred womb warrior circles, I activate spirit in there, and I show them how to approach it. I dim the lights. I show them how to work with the candle. First, you start with the lights on, and then I tell them how to trust the process because it's a process, and they trust me, so they're not afraid. But eventually, you do it on your own. But that's like going to church or just going to, it's like you can do things on your own, but it's good to have somebody to cross the faith, the thing. If it's good to have someone that's not afraid. It's kind of like going swimming, and you scared to get in the deep water, but you trust your folks, whether that's your mama, daddy, auntie, whoever. They're like, come on, give me your hands. So you may trust them, but not just anybody, or not just even doing it alone because it's scary. They would say stuff like, the girls would be like, one of the girls was like, oh my God, I felt somebody touching me, and I don't know if that's true or her mind playing tricks on her, but that's when I just turned, like, okay, that may be her experience. So I'm not trying to negate that, but I just tell them that even if they feel certain things, as long as it's not nothing harmful, you have to learn to allow those things to pass too, and send it to the light, but it's a process. It's the process. It's really a relationship with God. Then you begin to see that the soul is really the navigation. It's the one generating the dreams from your experiences. Because, like I say, whatever we don't get in our third, that was on another video, but when we don't pick up in the third eye, you picking it up in the pixels in your belly, because that's the second brain. So we got two brains. You got a brain up here. You got an internal brain, and so all of these things, the soul already knows. So it's almost like it feeds you certain things at different times if we listen to it. It's such a small, gentle voice. It's always there. So if you listen to it or you talking to it, you need certain things, or like when I say need certain things, like your body may have certain things going on with it. And you can talk to your body and make it do what you want it to do. Like it does that. That's what this whole thing is about. It's meant to repair itself. It's meant to help us. And the body will do all it can to preserve you until it just can't. That's why it's constantly trying to fight off it, So that's the same thing with spirit in our journey. It's not wanting to scare us. It doesn't want us to, we have certain experiences. When you have nightmares and stuff, it's the way we living it's the way we're living in our everyday life. It may be people around us that aren't the most positive, it's warning us of something, or it's an event and you have the gift and it's actually about to happen. So again, it's warning you, or it's something that you have to change within your life, or you got to get away from certain energies. It's all about the lesson. So the universe is never trying to scare us. And that's what I say when all of the bad things we've been through, that's a lesson for another day. But everything, including prison and slavery and all of these things, good, the bad, is all on the zodiacal wheel. And this is a wheel that the Egyptians named the houses of. So this is something that basically they letting you know these are all of the human experiences, these different houses and how these things can happen. And that's going into something different, but maybe we'll do a video on the houses or something so I can go into that. But go ahead.
Yes. All right, so come on. That's impossible for you not to answer these questions, okay? These is yearns, okay? These are your questions, okay? So Metaphysical Mondays, Tarot Talk Thursdays. Let's talk about Metaphysical Mondays, the foundation, the origin story, the backstory. What is Metaphysical Mondays? What made you start it? You know, for the people that are just getting familiar, they might be here for the first time.
Metaphysical Monday was, because I kind of went into like an isolation to do some healing work, and I felt really isolated from the people. And since I kind of left the so-called conscious community as far as just being out with certain people I was politicking with, I never really left it. I just dropped that conscious community because all my friends are still the same people, that's so, I just felt like I told you, it's not so much that what we got is of value. We just don't have enough exposure. There's a lot of people out there that are awesome. I see a lot of intelligent minds. I see brothers and sisters out there doing the work. Shout out to, is it Angela? Shout out to Angela. I can't see, but I do want to interact. But it's a lot of people out there, that's doing the work and not getting the props and stuff. It also gave me an opportunity to talk about heavy subjects other than tarot, because tarot was already becoming that. Tarot talk was already becoming like a form of that, because my tarot bills would be so deep that it was already becoming that. So I say, let me find a day to dedicate to metaphysical topics, spiritual topics, community topics, things that's separate from divination, not just tarot, but other stuff that I do. Because I also do charm readings and all kind of other styles of reading. I just been kind of, doing a tarot thing. But I felt like I see a lot of people, and I watch that work they put in. All that stuff we be typing and 2 people like it. I mean, back when we used to just be typing online, just typing, and none of your people respected your friends. It's just like, okay, you losing friends. So I just looked at the underdogs of the consciousness, or the conscious community, and just of not even just the conscious community, but underdogs that have something to give to the world. And I wanted to give them a platform to shout out what they're doing, and to let everybody know what they got, enlighten us, and I'm enlighten y'all, and we're gonna enlighten each other, because each one teach one. So that's what it's really about. And I wanted to show love. I wanted to let people know it's not about jealousy. Like, some people won't even invite you on their shows, and you invite them on yours. But the whole thing is, I wanted to let them know I've never been on that petty stuff. Never. So I'm not intimidated of letting another person with a brilliant mind, male or female, share a platform or a space with me every week, every other week, however we do it. I want to break that. I try to embrace people that show that intimidation. If they think like, oh, she's this, I try to embrace them if they will embrace me back. Other than that, but that's what it's about, because it's somebody got to be the bigger person. You know what I'm saying? So it's that too, because a lot of them, and honestly, what's interesting is so many people took to it instantly. When I invited people on, everybody said yes. Everybody showed up. It was only like a couple people, and that was way after the show had already been running for months. You know what I mean? So that let me know it was in a vein of spirituality. Everybody was like, yeah. Kefren, Ishmael, they were some of the first people I had come on. Camila, one of the other sisters, Brooke, she is she's a white girl, but she's still been building with me for in real life and on this for many years. And she came on to share her thoughts on Christian witchcraft. I thought that was important enough to share that. So she built on Tarot Talk Tuesday. So that's what she came on. She never been on Metaphysical Monday, but she came on Tarot Talk. So things were just kind of spawning from that. I had people coming up talking about trauma, just all types of different subjects. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm open to knowledge. So anybody that got something to build, this isn't, hey, anybody. But I can't tell you how the audience may act. So if you bold enough to come onto a Black platform such as this one, where I practice Black betterment first, you welcome. It's all about the knowledge and where you at in your consciousness. And if you can explain your ism, you get what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it, but all I'm doing is, and stuff to uplift the people, be able to speak in detail, because there's people that want to follow you, but they don't, like, when I say follow, you follow what you're saying, like trying to understand it, but it's too much sometimes. So it gives you also an opportunity to break things down in smaller, in ways that's more palatable to people.
Okay, Angela says she asking something that's off topic, but she don't even know how on topic she is. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? She said, "Can I ask something totally off topic, but on topic? is voodoo or black magic bad? Because from history, is this what the slaves did to get change or things in the circumstance?" So, in that question, I'm going to ask the questions in regard to what specific deity. Do you have a specific deity that you pray to, or are you out here casting spells on people? All of that stuff, like all of it all together, because it all just makes sense to go into that right there.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
is,
I get
is
you now.
voodoo or black magic bad, or
Yeah.
whatever the case may be? Let's.
I want to deal with that first. I want to just deal with that. I want to deal with is voodoo or black magic bad because that's always considered bad. You know, the voodoo and the black magic. People always, you know, that's the thing that we've been taught and stuff. And it's a powerful spirituality. It's if you want to call it a religion, it's powerful. What people gotta understand though is African cosmology and African religion and spiritual disciplines is holographic. Everything you're dealing with is in duality. So first off, no, I don't just go around doing spells on people. I don't promote spells. I'm into instant manifestations because I deal with hermetism or hermetics, you know, cometics. And that's I'll get back to that. But with people that goes back to that same paper that I want to discuss with Kefra on this bill. It speaks to the way Christianity and religion teaches this concept of good and evil, and they don't understand the way African cosmology and spirituality is set up to begin with. We spoke to this on my SU video, so I'm gonna tag you in it so you can take really check that one out with me and Kefra was building on. So that's a whole nother thing. But no, good and evil in short is in the heart of the magician. So it's not so much what you have what you do is it's not what you got the knowledge of, it's how you use the knowledge. And another example of that is like in those old cartoons we used to watch in the 80s and stuff, or even in the 70s, but really I wasn't born in the 70s, but I know in the 80s for sure, they had like cartoons and even the Care Bears. That was a very deep cartoon. That may be something to build on, very deep. And they always have like these cartoons with these books, Hocus Pocus, different things like that. But the person that owns the book is actually they know they're good people, but they are trying to stop the book from getting in the hands of the bad people, right? It's always like that. Or the bad people got the book and the good people trying to get the book back, like Dorothy's shoes, right? Because it's not the discipline or the craft that makes it bad. It's how you use the craft. So if you're going to do dark things to people, what is your intention for that? Because that black magic was created that's war technology. That's not meant to take out one person or because she stole your man. This is to take out multitudes of people, like how they used it in Haiti. It's not meant to just take and see what happens is it got convoluted during slavery. And then of course people are doing things, women fixing each other, blacks using it against whites probably using it against us too, all kind of stuff was going on at that time, and it just became corrupted. It's not they lost the original form of I'm gonna go with Ifa because Ifa is the religion that is based in Iwakwele, which means good character. So that's the whole thing to begin with. Whatever you throw out, that's what is going to reflect back to you. So even when you scared of cards and stuff, it's like, what are you doing inside? What are you doing, or what is making you, other than the knowledge that the fear that they embed in us. But once you know that you live in righteous, you have nothing to fear in any circumstance with anything. If it don't feel right to you when you start off with things, if it don't feel right, back up from it. You gotta digest things slowly. You can't just jump into things like that because there's a level of fear that we have to lose. There's a level of understanding. We got to get back. It's not just the woman's crap. Even indigenous men understood how nature works and stuff. It was what we were. We were more spiritually inclined. They beat the spiritual out of us. Every culture, for the most part, Native Americans, everybody had a form of a spirituality, like they referred to the Great Spirit. They understood how to, like the Africans, how to put the mind beyond matter. They knew how to shift, even like through beatings and different things like that. But they understood that if we were on the inner journey, it was no way that slavery would have succeeded in the rate that it did, because we would have remembered and awakened to who we were. But the fact that we were in the form of a sleep, and we were told that these things were bad and evil, that's what we are with it. That's the fear, the fear that they put into it. So they had to make everything black or associated with black evil in order to justify slavery, because they saw how righteous Ifa really is. Because if you're righteous, it's righteous. Do you see the white they wear and how beautiful that is? And with that really, how that reflects the way we sing. How can we be devilish? Have you heard our voices? Have you heard the way Africans sing and make this music that fills the forest? And we do this everywhere we go, from the plantation to Brazil to Puerto Rico to Cuba. Everywhere we go, we bring that spirit of freedom and dance and liberty and things that show that we reflect the light. Now, of course, there's people who have bad ways inside of themselves, misplaced anger, hatred, and whatever they got going on. They got bad characters. That is facts. And they do evil things with the power. And they will certainly pay for that. It's no way, like I said, you may, what the guy said, you can get away from the deed, but you won't get away from, you may get away from that particular deed that you did, but you won't get away from the action. Karma gonna still come get you on what you did. Meaning, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, we get away with doing certain things that's wrong, but you won't get away with the crime itself. It's like it's always going to come back to you in some type of way. You're going to, so anybody that's a real practitioner, another way, is are they righteous or not, is because we all practice the law of three. Whether you a witch, whether you a healer, whether you a whatever. Even in church, and we should be practicing the rule of three. Just don't do harm to people, because that goes on everywhere. I mean, people are afraid of spirituality because they can't see it. But what about all of the evil everybody do every day? When you decide you want to fight somebody or punch somebody in the face or say unloving things to people, that's witchcraft too. All of those things like that, that's unjust. Or you decide to partake with your friends jumping somebody innocently. You don't think that's not bad? That's bad shit. So, we have to get to a place where people just scared of the unseen because they can't control it. That's just the bottom line. So we can't, you can go to the next question, please.
Angela
like
just
I'm in
asked
one of
the
them.
next question. Look, she said,
Feel like I'm
when
one of them
people
in one
say
of them.
they are a witch, should that be concerning?
What happened?
Angela said, when people say they are a witch, should that be concerning?
It should be observed. Not necessarily concerning, because in back to that question I added on the list, too, about why don't I identify as a witch and stuff like that. I would still check the person's insides out. What I learned from working at Mystic Dream, because I know a lot of witches, but everybody there wasn't witches. But I've seen them come in and out. They regular damn people. It's the lifestyle that they choose. They're not like, people aren't just, oh, let me see how many spells I can cast. Because every time you do that, it takes energy from you. So they already know that they losing their source of power. They just choose, the word witch means wise woman. The problem is you got to understand the individual, because they wicked in church as Christians, they're going to be wicked as witches. If they was wicked in whatever they was in, they take that heart, because everywhere you go, there you are. So you can jump from any religion you want or whatever character you have, you bring it in wherever you go. So that's the witches to watch. Okay, so you try them. You try the spirit by the spirit. What are they on? If people saying they witches and they always talking about spells and stuff, yeah, you want to observe that for sure. You know what I mean? But as far as them being good or bad, them being a witch has nothing to do with being good or bad. Only through the eyes of religion, But they have some really righteous people, but they got some bad people. But you can see that just in how they move every day. If they the kind of people always talking about hexing people and just negative stuff and trying to dominate people, and I put a love spell on my boy, all of that is not, that's negative, very negative. But you don't have to be just afraid to treat somebody bad just because they identify as a witch. Yeah.
So let's talk about the Soljet healing community now. Why
Well,
it was
Hold on, come on, McKnowledge. I'm sorry, I didn't answer the other question. Why don't I identify as a witch? I don't identify as a witch because I don't really feel I am a witch. Witch is wise woman, but it has such it's a European term and it has such a negative connotation to it that I wouldn't want to associate myself with such a term, and that would make people miss the message and an opportunity to learn because you will run from something that you just assuming instead of allowing me to or allowing people a fair chance to understand the science of it before you just assume things, So I just wanted to put that there, to finish what we were.
Okay. Angela said, my sister went to someone that said a spirit wanted to marry her. Is that possible?
The spirit wants, I mean, you can bind yourself to a spirit, absolutely, but what's the purpose of it? Like, if it's like a spiritual marriage, and this is like with me and Arumula, just from being in the oracle, you could have a marriage with spirits, absolutely. That's deep though. It's real deep. That's a whole nother subject. Maybe I need to go ahead and start running the taboo nature of witchcraft and spirituality. If there's anybody out there that would like for me to run that series, the taboo nature of witchcraft and spirituality, y'all let me know. Put some, put some in the comments or something, even if you hear the replay, and I will run that back so we can kill those misconceptions and really be able to get past the illusion so we can get to the healing. Another reason I don't identify with spells and all of that is because I'm more interested in what light we can bring to the planet rather than how we can destroy people on an individual level. Nobody has time for that. Okay.
Okay, so the Soljet healing community, can we get the backstory for that and why it became so necessary and so important for you to have a healing community?
Okay. Yeah, so the Soldier Healing community, I've always really formed some forms of community, okay? It just, at different times, they come from woman circles and stuff like that. But because of the pandemic and just different things, I just wanted that to have that connection. A lot of people I was seeing a lot of people with mental health declining, emotional situations, confusion. I'm reading posts and stuff with different things on it, and I just felt like it's a, not just on the computer. It's real deep, it's a necessary thing for me because I have to be able to do what I'm being instructed to do by spirit. I think it's important because I know what I went through mentally and stuff, and it was a time where I didn't have a way out. It just certain things that I went through. I know it can help people. I know it can really give them insight and clarity. So the community part is just, giving people a comfortable and safe space to express themselves. And I don't judge them, like if they have certain, they Christians on the tier or whatever their religion is, I don't know. But I just think it's a good space with the age of Aquarius coming in to help, people aid them in mental and spiritual liberation and just getting some soundness in spirituality. So it's not all that crazy stuff and, things that people are saying, but it's not, like to scare people or I just think it was just something that I was called to do because I was already a teacher, so I just thought it was something that I was called to do. Yeah. I don't know.
What are some misconceptions about healing? Our healing journey, healing path, some of the things you learned over the years, some of the things you deduced from, working with clients on their healing journey and things like that.
And excuse me, you guys, I'm extremely I'm just operating off because I'm like all over. I feel like I'm all over, but I'm a little tired. I'm a little, I'm doing the work. But what are some of the, say that again, because I just feel like I wasn't, you know.
I think you're doing well. I think you're doing well. I think this is amazing. Yeah, I know some people personally who just got here. They never heard any of this, so they're picking up on things and they're very interested. I wanted to save like the classes and stuff for last because I see there's some questions, but I just want to kind of gear it towards where it is. And Angela says you're doing great. Okay, she's doing great. She's doing great. Okay, so.
Thank you, Sister
Uh,
Angela. It's such a big subject. You know, and I thought, sometimes you'll think it's simple, but then, other than I don't mind people asking, don't have to, it's no certain topic. We're just going into, metaphysical,
So healing. I was talking about healing. You know, you said community was necessary. So I just wanted to ask about healing journey, working with people over the years. You know, people are healing. What are some things that are true about healing versus some of the things that are missed? You see what I'm saying? Like they show those memes, they be like, what healing looks like, and you think it's butterflies and roses versus what it really looks like.
Um, what does healing look like? It looks like, misconceptions that it doesn't happen overnight. It's not about the tools or all of these other things like that. It's layers to it. It's layers to it. It's a lot. It's painful. It's painful. It's painful. They got a doggone fly. Just oh god, I felt like it landed on my head and all that. I don't know. It's just a lot going on right now. But no, it's painful. Healing is and it's very hot in here. Give me a second, you guys. I got candles burning and everything, so I apologize. But no, it's painful, and this is a relaxed interview. Like I'm just literally here with my socks on, and I think I took the socks off like actually during this interview. So
Forget them
I don't know,
socks,
like
okay?
that's kind of vague. Like the misconceptions. What you mean misconceptions of healing? Like give me. Healing is healing. It's hard work. It's not overnight. It's necessary. It's really necessary, but yeah, I don't know. Ask me if I didn't answer that in that moment, just
No, you did. You're answering that. You're answering it because it's a process. It's not an event. You see what I'm saying? Like so, you're speaking to the 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 process, and most of
I
us
feel
don't
so
understand the
far away,
process. Right. Yeah. So, like my mother, for instance, my mother dealt with the science of herbs. You see what I'm saying? So she was helping people on the healing journey, and she said they treat the aspirin like the herbs, and the herbs like the aspirin. Once the symptoms are gone, then they stop taking the herbs.
Yeah.
And then the symptoms come back 10 times stronger than it was before. So she said, with the aspirin, if they say take this aspirin, 3 times a day, every 6 hours, they said they watch by it. You see what I'm saying? So they'll do that with the Tylenol or the Advil or whatever the case may be, but with the herbs, the things that are actually there to help you, they treat it like the aspirin. Like, oh, I don't got the headache no more.
Right.
I'm good. So, oftentimes we do that with spirituality. We often do that with our healing. So I was just saying, from that modality, more so to give you a little more context. And I'll read this last question. She said, my last question until I hear more of what she says is that people who request money to take spells off of you should be watched.
Should be avoided. Be observed, because I'm not going to say that that's not a possibility, because it's all a frequency thing when you deal with energy. So energy is, when you understand how to work with the chakras and all of that, you don't have to do all of that extra shit like pig feet and all. I don't know. I don't want to go there, but it depends on the condition. You can do certain things, but it needs to be necessary. And give thanks to the Baba out there, Ashe. But you can pay people to cleanse you and stuff, absolutely, just to get your frequency right. But when they charging you outrageous prices to do this work and stuff, definitely observe. No, you know what I mean? Because it needs to be something that's fair, something that makes sense. You're not, to the people, because it should really be about getting the work done. You're really doing an energy exchange, and that's what they're paying for, and then your supplies or whatever, if you need something like that. But people that's like, oh, I was drawn to your energy, and you got a Jezebel spirit, run from them. Yeah, run from them.
So the Soljet Healing Community, Metaphysical Mondays, Tarot Talk Thursdays. What are some of the things that you can speak about that you have planned in regards to that? What was the shift in the reason for, some of the frequency changes of Metaphysical Monday or Tarot Talk Thursday? What's some of the things that you want to share in regards to announcements, updates, things like that?
Oh, I got you. I was like, how the frequency shift? No, I'm
My bad. Let me
yeah,
get it together.
I'm gonna sit down over here. I'm getting a little. I'm about to end my life soon, but I'm gonna open up for questions and answers. But the new things we're doing
Your
is
head
I'm gonna.
was cut off.
Oh, damn. Okay, I'm gonna be focusing more on. No, seriously though, I'm gonna be focusing more on writing and just kind of doing some spiritual things that I need to do for myself and where I'm at on my path. So we're gonna be doing Tarot Talk Tuesday only twice a month. It's gonna
We
be
got to move the camera back some more.
every first and third Thursday.
There we go.
Every first and third Thursday. And we're going to be doing Metaphysical Monday every Monday, still at 9 p.m. Sometime there will be guests, sometime um, it will just be me, yours truly. You can also tap in with me on Calligraphy TV. Um, all I can say is I'm gonna be doing some writing. I got some things that I'm working on that are very important. Um, I'll be starting the class as soon as that's part of the writing process, writing my new curriculum. I always have tarot classes available, private, from beginners to advanced, and also candle classes and stuff out, but I will put out the curriculum so people can see, and if you're interested, you can sign up. you know
We talked about everything except the products, okay? The products in the trap house, you making the product in, okay? Talk to us about the products,
the
you know.
products, you mean
Yes,
like
the
over here,
products, yes, the
my
products and
candle
some of the services.
apothecary?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I'm coming back with it's a lot. I do have a lot of different products, but right now I'm only doing dressing candles. I have some crystals on deck, some incense sages, stuff like that. But right now I'm focusing on developing my apothecary. So I'm working just on my candles, and I got my green rice, and I got, but all of that goes with candle dressing because those are things that you use to dress the candles. So I'm just basically
You gotta
stocking
move
up
the
on my
camera again.
I'm stocking up on my essential oil,
There you
and
go.
I'm stocking up on my essential oil, and I am working with my herbs and just doing cleansing, spiritual cleansing. The tools that I sell is also for cleansing. So I haven't really put my product line out now. I'm doing a lot of things. I'm revamping. So when it's time, it will be available for people and they'll be able to see it. It'll be on the website. I'm not doing anything off the site right now because I'm trying to build up. You got to build up your, the product so you can meet the demand. So right now I'm just putting things in order so I can put it on the site. And only thing that I'm really carrying right now is things for cleansing because I promote spiritual cleansing heavily, and things like to do the candle work in order to work with your spiritual energy and stuff like that. Yeah. So
Okay. So Metaphysical Monday every, yes ma'am, we see you. Metaphysical Monday every Metaphysical Monday at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, and Tarot Talk Thursday every first and third Thursday of the month. I don't want to get smacked, okay? Because she will
it's
pop
every
my
first and
hand.
third Thursday, Tarot Talk Tuesday,
Yeah.
Thursday. And thank you because you're the one that, brought those wonderful flyers to us. And then Metaphysical Monday. I feel like I glazed over certain things that I would have liked to build on. So I'll just do it again at another time. And I hope that people got what they needed to get from it. And if they don't, just put it in the Q&A, and I'll definitely will come back. And yeah, and we'll get to the answers. Anytime. I can put my email in there too, or the inbox. Anytime you guys have questions, I'm always open to do Q&A at the end of all Metaphysical Mondays or somewhere within the show. So that's always that could be something I do, once a month, so that's all I got.
So do you have a final word, or do I need to excuse myself so you can give the final word to the
I
people?
don't have a final word because I just give thanks that, yeah, I do have a final word. I give thanks that we were able to do what we've done in these last couple of weeks of Mercury retrograde. Right now, I'm feeling it. Like I have like 5 placements in Mercury. So, I need to go ahead and call my energy back because it's kind of like I need to, do some things. But I just want to thank everybody that watched. Step by step, wade in the water. Don't just jump in. The spiritual journey is awesome though, man. Just tapping into that frequency, you will see your world change. They keep us so limited with religion and not allowing us to really have the soul experience. And that's where the problems, confusions, and mental illness and all those things come in. When you look back at the way the old folks worshipped and further on, they were more connected to soul activation. They understood that. They understood that in many different um, you know, areas of our spirituality that we brought to the church that was already in us and within us. So sometimes that would activate because they still use West African drum counts in church. So sometimes they would activate the spirit. And that's why they want y'all to calm down and be quiet now, because they know once they started too much, it will begin to activate that area in ourselves that want to be in that soul frequency and give thanks and all that other stuff. So just know that you always have a GPS. God didn't leave us without nothing. We were born with fingerprints, footprints, and we were born with a soul to give us guidance on this mysterious dark journey that brings us into the light and enlightenment. So that's really all I gotta say is stay woke and don't stop seeking. Thank you, knowledge born Allah. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Okay. Sister Kola Soljet. Okay. It's all good.
Yeah,
I know for the people who just who just tuned in and the people who have been tuned in the whole time, I think this was an amazing insight, one of many. And I'm thankful that you put this out there to kind of let people know who you are and what your isms are. You
right,
understand?
right.
Um, if I could ask 2 questions, because they came back to me, they didn't, I can ask it in one. There was an approach to universal, a universal space versus, being confined, and what does it mean to be a planetarian?
Planetarian, it means to understand your connection with the earth and your role on the planet, how important the natural resources are, um, the power we possess, and it's really about knowing that we're that first. Because even if we were all different, and we are different, we're different in so many ways, but this is all still a planet that we have to share. So that our first allegiance needs to be to our home. That only makes sense. So yeah, people don't need to not forget that this earth is our home. So this is the home we have right now, and it's important to contribute to positivity and to light. And if you gotta do dark things to eradicate certain things, then we gotta do what we gotta do. But the love, protection, and balance on this planet should be one of the main things that we focus on, just like we focus on other things. I know we may be a long way from that, but I mean, just look around. So being a planetarian is about understanding that you're first an inhabitant of planet Earth. That we understand what we are. Even the Black people that subscribe to being gods and goddesses and stuff. If you're that, then you need to understand the space, that you need to know that what we have is for the world. I was taught that Ifa was a world religion. It's not just an African religion, because what we got, it can help everybody, because it's just that powerful. And I'm just speaking from an Ifa space. You know what I'm saying? People don't see it like that because they don't understand how the whole shift can change the planet. They don't understand at one time how people were more aligned with each other just on a universal level or a planetary level, until certain things and energies invaded. So I'm gonna just let it be that, and just making sure we put the well-being of the planet, the animals, the plants, the things that we need to survive as humans. We can't just be selfish and just just do what we do with it while we're here and then we're gone, and so it doesn't matter. Because there's people that have to come after us and use it and to to continue to, and it's deeper than that. The planetary thing is deeper than that, but I think that's enough for now.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Universal Mother of the Universe, okay? Kola Soljet.
Anyway, peace. Peace. Thank you.